This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, and we're here with William of Dialog, a man I ran into at a rally the other day, and he told me his story over my live stream, and I wanted to get that again because it's absolutely unbelievable what's been happening to you and what's happening in the industry that you've been involved in for a decade now. So why don't you start off just by telling people what happened to you and why this has gotten to the point where you're coming to City Hall here today.
Yeah, so what happened to me was I was working in a group home, so I was a program manager. So I'd been a manager at that location for 6 years, I think over 6 years, and 6.5. And prior to that, I had worked with autism and with teenagers for another 4 years or so. So yeah, in total about 10 years. And what happened was that out of the blue, we got this email. It wasn't in policy, it wasn't in procedures or anything like that. It was just an email from the COO of the organization, basically mandating masks for staff whenever in a room, whenever you're not alone in a room, which is just, I don't know how to express how much of a joke that is to mandate something like that in that setting is it's beyond reprehensible from a client care perspective. Right. Like it's absolutely atrocious. Not for the clients. The clients didn't have to wear the masks, but it was.
And again, to clarify, we're talking about autistic children.
Yeah. No, it wasn't children. These were adult men, but with at least one of them with a propensity for violence and aggression.
Right.
Yeah.
So the workers who are dealing with these people are now forced to wear the mask. Yeah. Is there not some sort of psychological effect of not being able to see a smile on the face of the person who's trying to help you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge, and it's by their own standards, it's huge because they've literally been pushing that in their training protocol for all the time that I've been there. It's all about paraverbal and nonverbal communication, a lot of which comes through the human face.
Right. I mean, a lot of autistic people are already slightly socially awkward, so not seeing a little tiny smirk on your face can really set them off, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Communication problems are already, it's already a major obstacle.
Yeah.
And then you're going to put I can't even, I wish they would fight. I almost wish it would go to court, right, just so I could stand in front of a judge and a group of people and just rip it to shreds. Because it's absolutely hypocrisy to the maximum, and more than that, it's damaging just to set aside the staff for a second, just to the clients, which that's the whole purpose of the existence of that organization. Right. Is to care for these people. Right. And it undermines that care entirely for the sake of, and in the email that was sent, it cited one article that was about an agency that was similar. Amelia Society had an outbreak, and it was in an article, in a CBC article, and that was their citation to say, because this is happening over here, and I actually knew what was happening because I know people who work there, and it was basically like a cold, right? That they, and I was like, okay, fine, that's you guys want to go down this road, you're gonna hear from me, and I'm gonna write a 3-page letter to you, and not saying that I'm refusing, just explaining to you because people need education. Yep. Explaining to you all of the downsides psychologically, socially, from an autism perspective, from a staff perspective.
And so did you do that? You provided them with the info?
Yes, absolutely. 3 pages.
What was their response?
Their response was, you are standing on a pedestal and putting your own personal beliefs ahead of your clients. And therefore you are suspended, effective immediately. Take your things out of the office, and we'll let you know what our final decision is next week. And then they terminated me next week because I proceeded to email everybody in the agency, or I tried to email everybody in the agency with my letter, because at that point it was like, okay, you're not even responding to my letter. Yeah. They're not even referring to my letter in their suspension notice, other than to say that I'm standing on a pedestal. I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I sent it out to the agency. They terminated me the following week. I've since sent them an email asking them to tell me their legal and scientific grounds for their mask mandate, and obviously for my personnel file. They have responded. They have said they have addressed the personnel file and said nothing about the scientific or legal grounds for their mask mandate. Wow. Zero. They have zero scientific or legal grounds for their mask mandate within that agency.
Yet they decided it was justifiable to terminate you after being there for 6 whatever years it was.
Yeah, over 6 years.
Yeah, to just completely terminate somebody for that, just for simply really just asking questions about the science behind it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, it wasn't asking questions. I was like telling them like, hey, like, reconsider your position, right? Because you're the ones, like, they can fire me, you know what I mean? But like in the end, it's like they're the ones who are going to suffer. Yeah. Do you know? They're the ones, like everybody, all the politicians that are going to mandate this stuff. They're the ones in the end. They're going to suffer for what they're doing to us
and the patient
and for us now, because this is we're not even human beings when we're doing it. When we're imposing this on other people, we're not even being human beings anymore. We're under this spell. We're under this ideology, and we're the ones that suffer for being wrong. Yeah. Not like I'm in the right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've done my research. I know what is right and wrong. I know what is healthy or not healthy when it comes to masks. So I'm not, like, this is what I'm saying, morally and otherwise, I'm not the one that's going to suffer.
Well, I think when history looks back at this time, guys like you are going to be seen as those guys who were the heroes, the guys who were on the right side, who did the right thing, and hopefully, you can. How do we say it? Be martyred or whatever. Maybe this can turn into a bigger, into a bigger issue here. The fact that things like this can happen to you. Hopefully, we can raise awareness about that so it starts happening to others. So, I mean, give a shout out to anybody who might want to be able to find out how they can contact you or help you or subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on YouTube, so I'm at Got Dialog. So that's one word, Got Dialog, on YouTube. And on Instagram at Got Dialog. But yeah, to me, it's not, like, again, it's not, I started Got Dialog in the summer because I wanted people to have a conversation. Yeah. I noticed, for anybody who's doing their research, that the media locally is totally corrupt in terms of the major media. So when I realized that, because I didn't realize the extent of that prior to COVID, right? So it was COVID that actually woke me up to the extent of the corruption, right? Yeah. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to go do media myself, but it wasn't even about that. To me, it's not about like how many followers I have or anything. It's about dialogue. Yeah. It's about just being able to reach out to one person and listening to them. Like we need to be listening to people who are wrong. Because we're going to be wrong too. Like, I'm not right about everything. I'm going to be crazy wrong about tons of stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know, like, my own thing. Do you know what I mean? But I need to be talking to people so that what they're right in, I can learn from. Do you know what I mean? And then what I'm wrong, and then correct what I'm wrong in. But that's what we're meant to do as a human as the human species. The human family is meant to be like that. And so that was actually why I started Got Dialog. It was more about that. And coming together. I talk about COVID, but that's only the kind of the subject. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's more about just bringing people together. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. It's what we need moving forward is more dialogue and being able to just engage with one another and have a better understanding moving forward. So I want to encourage everybody, check them out. Got Dialog on YouTube and Instagram. Links will be located in the description below. Once again, man, William, thanks so much for talking to us.
Yeah, my pleasure, brother.
We all want truth. The truth will set you free.